Okay, 5 tips to riding rock infested trails. How do you do it? So back in the day, I was one of Australia's top mountain bike trials riders, and this series of how-tos shows you how I apply those trial skills to my day-to-day mountain bike riding. Okay, first tip is momentum. Keep up your momentum. So one of the key ways to keep moving through a difficult rock garden is to keep your momentum up. This means putting in pedal strokes wherever you can to ensure that you don't stall, because as soon as you stall or run out of momentum, you're just going to tip over and fall sideways. Rocks are also way easier to navigate or negotiate when you've got a little bit more speed and weight behind you when you hit them. Of course, you don't want too much momentum, too much speed, otherwise you're literally just going to eat it. But having the right amount of speed and momentum is crucial for getting through that rock garden. A good way to measure the right amount of momentum you need is to get a gauge on how long the actual rock garden is. So if it's really quite long, then you're going to need to keep pedaling, keep your momentum up during the rock garden. If it's a small rock garden, you can probably rely on your own inertia to move you through it without too many problems. It may sound a little counterintuitive and a little difficult, but if you can keep one eye on the end of the rock garden as you're moving through it, it'll help you actually maintain momentum throughout that rock garden and move you forward towards the end. Tip number 2 would be keep your arms and legs bent and be light on the bars, ready for any impact. You're never going to be able to pick the perfect line through every rock garden. That's why it's really important to prepare your body for the unexpected impacts of random obstacles on the ground as you move through difficult terrain. If you keep your arms and legs bent, it means they're ready to absorb impact from below. If your arms and legs are straight, it means they're not able to absorb the impact and it's going to throw you right off your line, if not the bike. I also concentrate on being really light on my bars and heavy on my pedals. This enables your front wheel to kind of move around as it feels rather than you trying to force things all the time. It might jump and move around a little, but you should be able to counter that with your own body weight and make sure you hold your line through the rock garden. Tip number 3, unweighting your rear wheel. So I am constantly doing little hops and pedals and lifting my back wheel and front wheel over obstacles when I'm riding through difficult rock gardens. This is a technique that turns rocky, difficult terrain into something that's way more rideable. So you might see a really difficult rock approaching that's going to really slow you down or stop your momentum. It's a good time to lift your front wheel up and over the rock to make sure that that rock doesn't slow your momentum and you can keep moving through the rock garden. Same actually goes for your back wheel. Having a really good mental picture of where your back wheel is crucial to actually maintaining momentum through the rock garden. A lot of people focus on their front wheel, but it's actually the back wheel that people come unstuck with a lot of the time. So be conscious of what your back wheel is doing and try and pull it forward over difficult obstacles or again obstacles that are going to slow your momentum so you can keep moving through that difficult section. A key skill here, which I might cover in another video, is called unweighting the rear wheel. So that means throwing your weight forward without using your front brakes, lifting the back wheel off the ground and moving it over difficult rocks and terrain. Unweighting your rear wheel is actually a really crucial trials technique that I learned when I was young. Okay, tip number 4, choose your line and look ahead. So having a vision to find the right line through a difficult rock garden is really key. If you're not looking well ahead of you, then you're going to find yourself coming unstuck really quite quickly, especially in longer, more demanding rock gardens. Choosing a line and trying to focus on riding that line is really crucial to riding rock gardens successfully. So a little bit of planning can go a long way, and you may not have seen the rock garden before and you might be looking at it 10 or 15 meters ahead of you on the trail, but if you can scope out a line before you hit that rock garden, it's going to hold you in way better stead than if you just hit it randomly. If you can pick that line and hold it, you've got way more chance of actually making it through the rock garden successfully. But the key here is to keep looking ahead. Even once you're in the rock garden, keeping an eye on what's coming up is really crucial. Also, plans change. You might find that halfway through the rock garden, that line you thought was great actually really sucks and you need to quickly change direction, and that's fine too. Being flexible and nimble is really key. Tip number 5 is something that's really easy to overlook and it's not all that glamorous, but it makes a huge difference, and that's your body weight position. So I'm constantly shifting my weight back and forward subtly throughout a difficult rock garden to maintain momentum. I shift it back if I need to get my front wheel up and over a rock, and then I'll shift it quickly forward to maintain momentum and pull my back wheel over that rock. Same goes for left and right. And the key here is that you don't actually need to move your body all that much to the left and the right, you just need to move your bike. So if you can try and separate your bike as much from your body, then that will allow you the flexibility to maneuver it left and right around difficult obstacles without having to throw your body weight around to follow it. This allows you to react a lot faster to difficult situations and maneuver your bike around difficult terrain really quickly. So they are my 5 tips for riding rock infested terrain. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Please let me know in the comments below what you think. I'd love to know if you guys are rating these videos, because I got plans to maybe do more of them. But for now, the weather is fine, so it's time to get outside. Sayonara.